Well, welcome back, team. I thought it was about time for a development update. We have just gone through the process of applying for a Epic Games mega grant for our motion match prone system, which is a locomotion technology or sort of drag and drop ability for developers that has used Unreal Engine's existing motion matching architecture, except we're the first ones to do it prone on the ground. So now that we've got that completely comprehensive and functional, we're into laying the icing on that cake, which is where our mega grant application comes from. We have a fair few more animations to do to completely smooth out the system and create it to the same standard as what Epic Games has offered us with the game animation sample project. So our next step there will be implementing inverse kinematics on top of what we've created, furthering our pivots, doing more motion capture takes and getting me back into the stretchy lycra, and a few more bits and pieces going into the future just to foolproof it and make it completely ready for the end user. At the same time, we have been forwarding the systems in our game. Besides focusing on our locomotion system, which is going to be essentially the baseline of all of our gameplay systems and abilities for our player in the game, we've been working on our enemy AI and trying some innovative procedural logic to add to the realism behind our enemies, as well as our own locomotion logic, and implementing natural but procedural responses to, say, gunfire or environmental changes, as well as the AI systems. We've been working on our main character, which for a demo or a vertical slice of our game to actually show people what the flavor is that we're working with, our character, our environment, like our basic weapons and style, we have to cover all of those. So the character's coming along well. We've got to maybe like 80% on our runtime physics-enabled textured and clothed metahuman in Unreal. Also using MetaTailor as a little crossover of pipeline there to make the wardrobing easy. On top of that, we've got our combat system in its most basic but functional form. So we have a 360-degree aim offset that applies to the character while our motion matching locomotion is playing. So very responsive, omnidirectional movement with an aiming and attacking system that doesn't actually interfere with the locomotion, which will be very important from the perspective of how we've set up our camera in the game, which is going to be largely isometric and swap naturally into third person for more cinematic sequences. On top of that, we've been working on the actual environment for our demo and vertical slice. So I put on my materials and environment hat, and I've been plugging into creating my first set of like environment-based tools. There's been an amazing slew of free plugins and or projects covering lighting, procedural generation of foliage and height maps and all things environment available through Unreal and Fab, the marketplace. So it's been fairly easy to find a starting point there with no material or environment experience. And other than that, we've been also creating the roadmap towards one of the largest systems on top of our locomotion that we're going to develop, which is our martial arts and melee systems in the game. Because at the moment we have this functional opportunity to use two hands as a player character, so that could be two like firing weapons, maybe a blade in one hand and a gun in the other, or long arm type rifles and stuff. But also for the players that do want to do something hand to hand, we've decided to engage multiple styles of martial arts with our motion capture software. So right now we've laid out the actual system of how we can link any one martial art that we create motion capture for, and actually have it weave into the combat system. Largely with this prone locomotion and diving and crawling and rolling, our first stop was grappling, and for both myself and my development partner, Jiu-Jitsu, Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu is our first interest. So this is going to be the cornerstone of the rest of our combat system. We're going to begin with the grappling and transition style of martial art to both link locomotion into close quarters combat situations, as well as offer the player individual striking or grappling or submission options in-game that are not convoluted, they feel natural, and they don't interfere with the momentum trajectory or general omnidirectional movement potential of the player. So we're starting with the most complex system for close quarters first, and we're going to build out from that. We have a lofty idea, I'll call it optimistic and lofty, to create the opportunity for a player who does really want to develop a melee playstyle in a game. We want them to feel like stylistically, as they feel and play the game, there is a night and day unique difference between building their character a different way, that someone that would avoid melee will never see the types of animations or experience the feel and the gameplay of the style and the martial art prowess of a character who's actually spec'd into those realms. So we do want to find a way for melee players to have their own definitive tracks of stylistic expression in the game and actually have that be responsive. So at the moment we're just linking close quarters type wrestling and jiu-jitsu, kickboxing, Muay Thai, and then comes in our weapons. So for now, that's what we're trying to comprehensively track, and have it evolve and move and implement freely with our locomotion technology. Also, we've been slowly getting into the sound design of the game. We have a few producers on board, and at the same time I've been digging into developing the title screen, like the theme music, and actually finding the flavor and the edge of this dark, gritty, dirty, realistic, dark future. So it's been a nice, like, creative blip away from all things tech to actually feeling out the energy that wants to be present as our soundtrack. Amongst all of that, a few producers are working with us with all styles, from like full-on groove metal, like McGordon Doom style, through to minimal drum and bass. So finding this amazing merge of electronica and acoustic or live instrumentation to actually find the pulse and the groove of our combat music is now quite I guess a priority for us. We want, while we're developing, to be thinking about the rhythm of how the character feels and how they play and how all of these systems can interlink and stay punctual, actually stay on beat and feel like it has its own momentum behind your decisions, other than just pushing forwards or a direction on a controller. And then lastly, another ongoing piece of the puzzle is our cinematics and actually getting everything rigged for the characters, designing our blockouts for these cinema pieces. They're a lot more important to us than just setting tone or, you know, like offering space for narrative to arrive and sort of be tacked on. The way that we're setting up our cinematic pipeline is both to offer a player all of your potential abilities or methods of playing the game from our opening scene. So everything that you see on your character, the way that they move, the problems that they have to solve in these cinematics will be parallel to our game systems. These will be the same types of stealth, the same mechanics for cover, the same mechanics for shooting, reloading, the weapons you start with, your holstering system. All of this will be visibly iterated or made known within our cinematics. So rolling out of a cinematic like this into a tutorial feels a lot more natural than having a bunch of pop-ups on screen saying press A to jump. We really do want everything to feel integrated like a film. So yeah, managing to both capture the environment and the intensity and depth of the world in the cinematic is absolutely one of our priorities. And as a second, introducing the characters, the core functionalities of the game, what you can expect from gameplay, and also say the weapons that you can learn to rely on or the skills that you can learn to rely on. These will all be present within the cinematic rolling tutorial. So we really do want to lean into this idea of player agency. I'm not one for a lot of red tape in games. I come from a space in the 90s and 2000s with amazing, heavy, player-led experiences like your Diablos, your Max Paynes, your Metal Gear Solids. They're incredibly complex games, but in terms of tutorial or holding the player's hands, this came at a time where developers believed in the ability of their players, and I think it gives a lot of it puts a lot of the onus on the player to negotiate with the world and actually take part in it. So we are keeping that in mind from our cinematic experience through to our fully embedded systematic gameplay experience. So, yeah, having spent a good 6 to 8 months learning the motion capture to animation keyframing software solutions to create our MMPS, multi-match prone system locomotion add-on for Unreal Engine, we are now back to full attention essentially on finishing the vertical slice or the demo of our game. So if I put in as many hours as it took to learn motion capture in the last year, this game's going to be done in no time. And by no time, I mean a while. But all systems go. We're slowly incorporating new means of equipment and skill sets into our team. So yeah, huge period of growth coming up, and an amazing little refocus back onto the creative project, not just the technical aspects that underpin the creative project. So very much looking forward to the next couple of months of development. We should be able to give you a beautiful, beautiful working vertical slice of all of our systems in world, in real time, soon.